So Ben Johnson had his introductory press conference today. And the thing that is apparently glaringly clear to me, that man can definitely command a room. Welcome back to Bears Yard. This your boy Vipe. And Ben Johnson met the media for the first time as the head coach of the Chicago Bears. You know it's serious when not only the usual suspects are in attendance, like your Brian Poles, your Kevin Warren, and your George McCaskey, but Caleb Williams, Cole Kmet, Rome Odunze, and DJ Moore were all in attendance as well for Ben Johnson's introductory press conference. So, just want to give you guys my thoughts on the press conference real quick. Now, obviously, you can't really win press conferences, but as far as this one goes, I think Ben handled it very well. He had command of the room. He was direct. He was articulate. He was confident and sure of himself. It was just amazing to see, and a stark contrast to Matt Eberflus when he was hired 3 years ago. Also, you gotta love when he said that he enjoys beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. So you know that gets Bear fans' ear perked up because we love when coaches come in and talk about how they beat Green Bay, especially a guy like Ben Johnson who practically owned Green Bay. I think in the time that he's been offensive coordinator of the Lions, he's only lost to Green Bay once. So the dude clearly knows how to beat Green Bay. One of the most telling things, and something that was kind of talked about as to which job he would ultimately take, having Caleb Williams in place definitely was a big factor in his decision to come to Chicago. I made a whole video about this called Tom Brady is Not Caleb Williams, when people kept talking about how the influence of Tom Brady would sway him to the Raiders. And I kept telling you, when you don't have a franchise quarterback in place, Tom Brady is irrelevant. And it turns out I was right. Ben Johnson pretty much said it without saying it, but yeah, he said having a quarterback in place tonight. So Caleb Williams was definitely a big time reason that the Bears landed Ben Johnson. You're watching Bears Yard, your home of opinionated Chicago Bears talk Monday through Friday right here on YouTube. So if you don't want to miss an episode, hit that subscribe button. He also stated that he wanted to stay in the NFC North. And again, there was another thing that was talked about as to why would he want to stay in the division when it's so competitive with the likes of Green Bay and Detroit and Minnesota. But you have to remember, as I told you guys, Ben Johnson owns this division. I mean, the Lions have been the best team in the division for what, 2 or 3 years now since he become offensive coordinator. So why would he run away from a division that he already owns? It never really made sense to me. And he said he wants to stay in the division. He does know that there's work to be done ahead because the Bears have some work to do. He highlighted how they need to strengthen the offensive line. I think we all know that. He also talked about how his family makes trips to Chicago every summer to watch the Cubs play. So they love the city and he wanted to be in Chicago. I think I even saw a note about how at the beginning of the Zoom interview, when he was talking to Warren and McCaskey, he told him that he wants the job. And then he ended the Zoom video saying, "Did I tell you that I want the job?" So clearly Ben Johnson has wanted to be in Chicago, and now he is here as head coach of our Chicago Bears. So how will Ben Johnson communicate with his players? Well, for those players in attendance today, like I said, Caleb, DJ, Rome, Cole, they were all there. And he looked directly at them and said, "You better get comfortable being uncomfortable," which is something that these Bears players have needed for a long time. They talked a lot last year about wanting to be coached harder, and I don't think Ben Johnson will have any problem coaching them harder. I remember a video clip that surfaced recently of Ben Johnson talking about how in Detroit, he constantly had to challenge players. He never wanted to give them the same things because they never get bored. So he always wanted to make sure that he had new goals and things for these players to attain to keep them motivated. So I think that he will definitely bring that over to Chicago as far as always challenging these players to make sure that they are getting their best selves and he getting the most out of them. So they better be ready because he said they're going to be uncomfortable. And he also mentioned that when players aren't getting into line with what he's trying to do, and he's going to make an example of them. Oh, Tyreek Higgins. So there will be no more Tyreek stuff going on unless he knows it's good for him because Ben Johnson ain't having none of it. How would the offense look under Ben Johnson? Well, this has been a question too after will he bring the same offense over from Detroit? But Ben Johnson is adaptable. And he said in the press conference today that he is going to completely tear the offense down and build it up around Caleb Williams. So that means that the offense that he ran in Detroit for the past few years is not going to be the same offense that he runs in Chicago because you have different personnel in Chicago and he's going to build an offense to their strength. Obviously, Caleb Williams is not Jared Goff, so the things that Jared Goff can do, Caleb might not be able to do, and the things that Caleb can do, Jared Goff can't do. So Ben Johnson, I feel like, is handling this the right way in building an offense around Caleb Williams and the other personnel in place to maximize the things that they can do. And it's going to be something that the league has never seen before, because obviously it will be tailor-made for the Chicago Bears offense. Obviously, winning or losing a press conference is not that big of a deal in the long stream of things, but Ben Johnson won the press conference today, you all. He was amazing. Again, he was in command. He was very articulate and detailed about what he wanted to do for the Bears team. But now we have to see if that translates to the field, on-field result. But give me your thoughts down there. How do you feel about Ben Johnson after his introductory press conference? Drop a comment. And if you want more opinionated Bears talk, hit that video right there.